that it can destroy anything. Ling Yan stomps on the ground. His body shoots forward. The spear lights also follow. Seeing the heavenly tiger spear and the spear techniques that Ling Yan is unleashing, Qianxue's expression instantly turns ugly. After the storm is broken, Ling Yan's figure flashes. He rushes toward Qianxue. Ling Yan is too fast. Even with the warnings from the Gu Yuan sect members, Qianxue has no way of defending himself. He can only allow the heavenly tiger spear to pierce into his body. Seeing this, the expressions on the faces of the Gu Yuan sect members all change. But due to the distance, they cannot go to Qianxue's aid at this critical moment. They can only stand there and shout in alarm. When the heavenly tiger spear makes contact with Qianxue's body, a clear, sharp sound is heard. Then, Qianxue is sent flying backward by the force of the spear. After flying back about 10 meters, his body stabilizes. Qianxue looks at Ling Yan and suddenly laughs loudly. "Kid, you think you can kill me?" After Qianxue finishes speaking, Ling Yan's eyes narrow slightly. He looks at the place where the heavenly tiger spear pierced his body. There, he sees that there is a crack in the outer layer, but underneath that crack, instead of Qianxue's body, there is a layer of white reflective armor. Without having to guess, it's obvious that it's a spirit armor. After this intense battle, Qianxue knows that Ling Yan's spirit chi and soul power are almost exhausted. It is impossible for him to unleash those powerful attacks he used earlier. Therefore, Ling Yan will naturally have no way to break through the defensive spirit armor that he is wearing. Ling Yan sighs. He admits that the defensive spirit armor that Qianxue is wearing is very powerful, but that does not mean that he cannot break through it. His methods are not limited to spirit chi and soul power. His physical strength is also one of his greatest weapons. Ling Yan's feet move. His body quickly rushes toward Qianxue. The heavenly tiger spear is constantly being swung. Countless spear shadows attack Qianxue. Facing these spear shadows, Qianxue's face shows a hint of disdain. Before, when Ling Yan used the heavenly tiger spear to unleash his martial arts, he was not able to break through his armor. Let alone now that he is only using simple attacks from the heavenly tiger spear. The spear point of the heavenly tiger spear constantly makes contact with the armor on Qianxue's body. A series of crisp, metallic sounds is heard. Ling Yan does not attack any other place. He constantly uses the spear point to attack the area over Qianxue's chest. He knows that if he attacks other places, then with Qianxue's reactions, he will definitely be able to successfully block or dodge it. Therefore, he must concentrate his attacks on one specific area. He must use the heavenly tiger spear to create some damage on that armor. Then, he will use his own physical strength to break through the armor. At this time, Ling Yan's eyes flash. His mind moves. He immediately puts the heavenly tiger spear back into his interspatial ring. Seeing Ling Yan put away his spirit weapon, the disdain in Qianxue's eyes becomes even more pronounced. The corner of Ling Yan's mouth curves into a sinister smile. Then he clenches his fist tightly. The veins on his arm bulge. It looks as if a ferocious dragon is coiled around it. The corner of Ling Yan's mouth curves into a sinister smile. Then he clenches his fist tightly. The veins on his arm bulge. It looks as if a ferocious dragon is coiled around it. A fist, filled with powerful force, slams into Qianxue's chest. Seeing that Ling Yan is actually planning to attack him using his fist, Qianxue laughs loudly. He doesn't even plan to dodge it. How laughable. You actually think that you can break through my armor with your own strength. In Qianxue's eyes, Ling Yan is only at the 3-star martial grandmaster level. His physical strength is naturally much weaker than his. As this dull sound is transmitted, the disdain on Qianxue's face disappears. In its place, there is an expression of shock and disbelief. His mouth gapes. He looks at Ling Yan in disbelief. Before he can say a word, a mouthful of crimson blood erupts from his mouth. Ling Yan doesn't hold back. His fists continuously pound into Qianxue's chest. One dull sound after another is transmitted. The effects of the star-gathering art last for about half an hour. He has to kill Qianxue before the effects of that martial art wear off. Otherwise, he will fall into a trap. Another powerful fist slams into Qianxue's chest. Along with the dull sound, a cracking sound is heard. Then, everyone can clearly see that the armor on Qianxue's chest has been shattered by Ling Yan's fist. A powerful killing intent appears in Ling Yan's eyes. He clenches his fist again. A fist, filled with absolute power, slams into Qianxue. The powerful force causes the air to explode. Then, the fist lands solidly on Qianxue. Xiu lets out a piercing scream, but his scream is cut short by Ling Yan's next punch. Xiu's body is sent flying. He flies for hundreds of meters before finally falling to the ground. Seeing Xiu's body land, the members of the Gu Yuan sect immediately react. They rush to Xiu's side. When they pick up Xiu's body, Xiu's aura disappears. His eyes are open, but he is clearly dead. From afar, Ling Yan looks at Xiu. He has expended a lot of energy to kill Xiu. If he does not take Xiu's soul, then it will be a waste of his effort. At this time, Qian Qianxue reminds him, you better leave quickly. Otherwise, the effect of the star-gathering art will wear off. Ling Yan nods without leaving a trace. He has already killed him. He has to take Xiu's soul. After saying the words in his mind, Ling Yan no longer hesitates. He stomps on the ground, and his body shoots forward. If you don't want to die, then get out of my way. Ling Yan's gaze sweeps across the members of the Gu Yuan sect. His killing intent is so strong that it makes them feel like they are standing in an icy abyss. Seeing Ling Yan charging at them, the Gu Yuan sect members all look at Ling Yan in shock. They do not plan on retreating. Instead, they prepare to block Ling Yan. Ling Yan's gaze sweeps over them. His fists explode. The power of the punches shatters the air, and the shockwave sends the members of the Gu Yuan sect flying. The shockwave sends their bodies flying. Ling Yan ignores them. Then, he quickly walks to Xiu's body. He takes Xiu's interspatial ring. He uses the Life-Death Coffin to absorb Xiu's soul. However, as Ling Yan is absorbing Xiu's soul, the people who are hidden in the shadows involuntarily tremble. A look of disbelief appears in their eyes. He actually absorbed Xiu's soul. After Ling Yan takes Xiu's interspatial ring and soul, he doesn't delay. He immediately retreats into the canyon. However, just as Ling Yan is about to leave, two powerful auras explode at the same time. A palm wind appears on the walls of the canyon. The walls shatter, and many rocks fall, blocking the path into the canyon. After all of this is done, two figures appear in front of Ling Yan. They are the leaders of the younger generations of the Blood Refinement Abyss and the Yuan Yang sect. They are Hou Wenyao and Zhang Rui. Feeling the auras coming from Hou Wenyao and Zhang Rui, Ling Yan's eyes suddenly narrow. He didn't expect that these two people's cultivation would be even higher than Xiu. They are at the level of a 6-star martial grandmaster. Ling Yan looks at the two people in front of him. They have both reached the level of a 6-star martial grandmaster. What is the meaning of this? A cold smile appears on Hou Wenyao's face. Ling Yan, I don't know if you remember the Ling Yan clan and the Jin Yuan gang. You are quite bold to actually destroy our subordinate forces. Ling Yan's eyes narrow. So they are from the Yuan Yang sect and the Blood Refinement Abyss. If you're here to cause trouble, then let's skip the nonsense and fight. Hearing Ling Yan's words, a deep killing intent flashes through Hou Wenyao and Zhang Rui's eyes. They did not expect that even now, Ling Yan still dares to be so arrogant. Moreover, both of them are at the 6-star martial grandmaster level, while Ling Yan is only at the 3-star martial grandmaster level. Ling Yan's expression is cold. His mind moves. He summons the Heavenly Tiger Spear from his interspatial ring again. The moment he grabs the Heavenly Tiger Spear, the power within Ling Yan's body quickly surges into the Heavenly Tiger Spear. Under this powerful infusion of power, a tiger roar is heard from the Heavenly Tiger Spear. As the tiger roar is heard, a Heavenly Tiger Spirit, whose size is even bigger than before, appears from the Heavenly Tiger Spear. Seeing the appearance of the Heavenly Tiger, Hou Wenyao and Zhang Rui are shocked. They didn't expect that there would be a Heavenly Tiger Spirit within Ling Yan's spirit weapon. Moreover, with Ling Yan's cultivation at the 3-star martial grandmaster level, the Heavenly Tiger Spirit that he summons is naturally even more powerful. The aura that it is emitting is enough to be comparable to a 6-star martial grandmaster, and even a 7-star martial grandmaster. At this time, the princess who is hiding in the shadows speaks. He has quite a few tricks up his sleeve, but I can feel that his aura is a bit unstable. The princess nods. His own cultivation is not at the 3-star martial grandmaster level. He must have used that martial art that he got at the auction. It can temporarily raise his cultivation to the 3-star martial grandmaster level. Once the time is up, his actual cultivation will be revealed. In the battlefield, the Heavenly Tiger Spirit roars again and then, under Ling Yan's control, attacks Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao. The massive body of the Heavenly Tiger Spirit moves rapidly through the air, as if it is stomping on it, creating booming sounds. The speed of the Heavenly Tiger Spirit is extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, it appears in front of Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao. Facing the heavenly tiger spirit's attack, neither Zhang Rui nor Hou Wenyao dare to be careless. The two of them look at each other. Zhang Rui says, "Perhaps we should attack together." Hou Wenyao nods slightly. He has no objections. The heavenly tiger spirit's power is extremely strong. They both know that if they try to deal with it individually, then they might not be able to handle it. Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao's expressions change. They immediately unleash their powerful martial arts and attack the heavenly tiger spirit. Ling Yan glances at them and puts the heavenly tiger spear back into his interspatial ring. Then, he says loudly, "Well then, they'll be leaving first." As soon as he finishes speaking, Ling Yan no longer hesitates. His mind moves, and he immediately rushes toward the canyon. He arrives at the place that is blocked by rocks. Ling Yan throws a punch. The rocks are immediately shattered. Then, he quickly enters the canyon. Seeing Ling Yan turn and leave, both Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao curse in their hearts. But there is nothing they can do at this time. They must first stop the heavenly tiger spirit. Otherwise, they will not be able to get past the heavenly tiger spirit's attacks. In the next moment, the powerful martial arts unleashed by Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao collide with the heavenly tiger spirit. The two massive explosions shatter the surrounding area. The two powerful martial arts techniques and the heavenly tiger spirit dissipate. Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao look at each other again. They wave their hands, and they immediately rush into the canyon. Behind them, the other members of the Blood Refinement Abyss and Yuan Yang sect also follow. The princess turns her head and asks the servant girl, "Do we go and save him?" The princess says, "There is no need for that. I think he can get out of this on his own." Then she looks at the people behind her. "You guys wait here. Well, go take a look and come back." After speaking, the princess gives a look to the servant girl. The servant girl immediately understands. She steps forward, and her body soars into the air. At this time, Ling Yan has already arrived at the deepest part of the canyon. Outside the canyon, there is a vast sea. The water in this sea flows out from the Thunder Sea. Ling Yan stands at the edge of the canyon and looks down. His eyes show a hint of seriousness. The distance to the ground is at least 10,000 meters. If he were to jump down just like that, he would probably be crushed to pieces. After all, there is also an island down there. It is not entirely the sea. Suddenly, a loud laugh is heard from behind. "Ha, Ling Yan. You can't escape." Then, a large group of people appears there. The two people in the lead are Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao. Ling Yan glances at Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao. "If I want to leave, you two can't stop me." Ling Yan's mind moves. He summons the heavenly tiger spear from his interspatial ring. Seeing the heavenly tiger spear appear, Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao immediately step back. Their expressions become serious. After all, they had just experienced the power of the heavenly tiger spirit that Ling Yan summoned earlier. Seeing them retreat, Ling Yan smiles. "Look at how scared you guys are." "Sorry, you guessed wrong. I don't plan on summoning the heavenly tiger spirit this time." Ling Yan then pauses. Facing Ling Yan's unexpected actions, everyone is shocked. They do not dare to act rashly. After all, they have already suffered a loss. They don't know how many more tricks Ling Yan has up his sleeve. Ling Yan's soul power explodes and immediately acts on the heavenly tiger spear. Under the dual effect of his soul power and the spirit weapon, the heavenly tiger spear floats in midair. Ling Yan steps onto the heavenly tiger spear, which is also now floating in the air. Seeing this, Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao immediately react. They quickly rush toward the edge of the canyon, wanting to quickly stop Ling Yan. Unfortunately, their actions are still a step too slow. When they arrive at the edge of the canyon, Ling Yan has already flown out a distance on the heavenly tiger spear. Ling Yan looks back at them. "You guys can just wash your necks and wait. The next time we meet will be the day that you die." Then, Ling Yan no longer pays attention to them. He continues to control the heavenly tiger spear and flies away, disappearing from Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao's sight. Seeing Ling Yan's disappearing figure, Zhang Rui and Hou Wenyao's faces become extremely dark. They did not expect that Ling Yan would still have another trick up his sleeve. Zhang Rui retracts his gaze and turns to look at Hou Wenyao. "When that kid disappeared, I felt like his aura had become much weaker. Did you feel it too?" Hou Wenyao nods slightly. His cultivation level dropped from a 3-star martial grandmaster to a 1-star martial grandmaster. He only has the cultivation of a 1-star martial grandmaster, but he has mastered so many techniques. It seems that he has many secrets on him. We must capture him. Above the canyon, the servant girl glances at the sea below. Then she looks at the princess. Princess, you were right. That Ling Yan was indeed able to escape. He is very smart. From the very beginning, he chose the right place. He is a true genius. The princess does not hesitate to praise him. With her status and power, she has met many outstanding young talents. But this is the first time that she has encountered someone as exceptional as Ling Yan. Therefore, she is quite fond of Ling Yan. At this time, in the Gu Yuan sect, which is located in the northwestern part of the Chaos Land, there is chaos. A young disciple kneels on the ground, trembling. Reporting. The young sect leader has been killed. As soon as he says this, the expressions on the faces of the three elders of the Gu Yuan sect change. Then, they quickly react. Their bodies flash, and they appear in front of the kneeling disciple. The great elder grabs his clothes and asks, "Who is this Ling Yan? How did he manage to kill the young sect leader?" The disciple nervously replies, "This subordinate does not know who he is. This subordinate only knows that he fought with the young sect leader because of a dispute at the auction." Before the disciple can finish, the great elder angrily cuts him off. Then, his hand moves to the disciple's neck, and he squeezes hard. With a snap, the disciple's neck is broken. His aura disappears. The great elder says coldly, "The sect leader is currently at a crucial point of his seclusion. We cannot disturb him. The most important thing right now is to go to the Blood City and investigate what happened." In short, no matter who that Ling Yan is, if he dared to kill the young sect leader, then we will make sure that he has nowhere to run. In Blood City, all the streets and alleys are filled with portraits of Ling Yan. The crowd gathers around the portraits to look. Seeing the description next to the portraits, everyone is extremely excited. The temptation of so many spirit gems is not something that they can easily resist. Although they know that there will be a lot of danger if they enter the Thunder Sea, they must go in order to get the spirit gems. The news about Ling Yan spreads like a storm throughout Blood City. It quickly spreads to places outside of Blood City. This causes many people who know of the news to rush toward the Thunder Sea. At this time, the princess and her servant girl also learn about the news. The servant girl thinks that Ling Yan will not go to the Thunder Sea. But the princess shakes her head. She still believes that Ling Yan will enter the Thunder Sea. The most dangerous place is often the safest place. Moreover, as long as he doesn't directly encounter the three elders of the Gu Yuan sect, then it won't be difficult for him to escape. They also set off for the Thunder Sea. While everyone is rushing toward the Thunder Sea, in the northern direction of the Thunder Sea, there are many tall mountain peaks. On one of these mountain peaks, halfway up, a figure is sitting cross-legged on the ground. The spirit chi from the surrounding area is constantly gathering toward that figure. It seems to be at the center of a vortex, absorbing the surrounding spirit chi. This figure is Ling Yan, who controlled the heavenly tiger spear to leave the canyon that day. After leaving the canyon that day, he has been rushing to this place. He has been cultivating here. Because he swallowed the soul of a 3-star martial grandmaster from Duan Chang and the soul of a 5-star martial grandmaster from Shixiu, and because of the intense battle he had fought before, after cultivating for 10 days, his aura has been increasing toward the level of a 2-star martial grandmaster. At this time, his aura is already almost at the level of a 2-star martial grandmaster. It is only one step away from a complete breakthrough. Ling Yan focuses his mind. The life-death coffin in his body activates its absorption ability to its peak. With the help of the spirit-gathering formation, a powerful aura erupts from his body. The dirt within a 3-meter radius of Ling Yan is sent flying. Ling Yan opens his eyes. A look of satisfaction flashes through his eyes. He has successfully broken through to a 2-star martial grandmaster. At this time, Qian Qianxue's figure flashes out from the life-death coffin. With her, there is also a portrait. Ling Yan pauses slightly. He looks at the portrait. It is himself. As he looks at the text next to the portrait, his expression gradually becomes dark. The Gu Yuan sect is truly ruthless. They didn't hesitate to spend so many spirit gems to spread this news. Qian Qianxue says coldly, "I didn't go to the Blood City, but I heard some news. Then, I went and took care of those people. That's how I got this information and this portrait. And because of the death of the young sect leader of the Gu Yuan sect, the 3 elders of the Gu Yuan sect have personally set off to hunt you down." Ling Yan's expression changes. The 3 elders of the Gu Yuan sect. What are their cultivation levels? From the information that Qian Qianxue obtained from the mouths of those people, she learned that the 3 elders of the Gu Yuan sect have a cultivation level of an 8-star martial grandmaster. and one has a 9-star martial grandmaster cultivation. Although he was already mentally prepared, when he hears about their true strength, Ling Yan's pupils still shrink. Right now, even if he uses the Void Black Flame and the Life Death Coffin and the Star Gathering Art, he would only be able to barely fight against someone with the cultivation of a 7-star martial grandmaster. Moreover, it would only be a struggle. It would be impossible for him to kill his opponent. But the 3 elders of the Gu Yuan sect who are now hunting him down all have a higher level of cultivation. This means that once he is caught by the 3 elders of the Gu Yuan sect, then he will not have a chance to escape. He will definitely be killed by them. Ling Yan's expression turns even uglier. Qian Qianxue says coldly, "The Thunder Sea is extremely large. Those 3 elders of the Gu Yuan sect also know that their strength is higher than yours. So, it is impossible for them to stick together to search for you. After you enter the Thunder Sea, the first thing you need to do is to find a secluded place and refine your soul. Once your soul is refined, your strength will increase greatly. Then even if you have to deal with someone at the level of an 8-star martial grandmaster, it won't be a problem. Even if you encounter the 9-star martial grandmaster from the Gu Yuan sect, it will not be impossible for you to escape." Hearing Qian Qianxue's words, Ling Yan nods as if he suddenly understands something. When the time comes, he will not let the Gu Yuan sect and Blood Refinement Abyss and all those who are trying to kill him off. At this time, all around the Thunder Sea, there are already many figures. Everyone's gazes are all directed at the sea. Of course, among all these people, there are also discussions. All the discussions are revolving around the Gu Yuan sect, Ling Yan, and the Earth Core. Many people are focused on finding Ling Yan. They all know that with their strength, they will not be able to compete for the Earth Core. But if they can obtain any information about Ling Yan and report it to the Gu Yuan sect, then they will be able to get a reward of 1,000,000 spirit gems. At this time, Ling Yan also approaches. Although he has used a hat to completely cover his face, many of the people who are here are dressed in strange ways. So, he does not attract anyone's attention. As time slowly passes, it becomes noon. Suddenly, a loud thunderous sound is heard from within the Thunder Sea. The power of the thunder within the Thunder Sea is about to weaken. Then, everyone rushes madly into the Thunder Sea. Seeing the people rushing so frantically, Ling Yan shakes his head slightly. Only a few of these people will be able to get out alive. After waiting a few more moments, Ling Yan no longer hesitates. His body moves, and he also rushes into the Thunder Sea. After entering the Thunder Sea, bolts of lightning from the sky immediately strike at Ling Yan. He does not use any method to block them. He allows the lightning to strike his body. Lightning of this level cannot harm him, but others are not so lucky. One important thing to note is that even though this is called the Thunder Sea, it is not as if the whole place is made up of the sea. In some areas, there are a lot of islands of various sizes that are connected to each other. It is not necessary to travel by sea to reach the deeper parts. Suddenly, a fierce roar is heard. Then, in everyone's vision, a beast that is about 3 meters tall appears in front of them. The beast lets out an angry roar again. Then, the beast's gaze locks onto a person nearby. With a leap, it pounces on that person. Seeing this, many of the surrounding people cannot help but gasp. They didn't expect the strength of the beasts in the Thunder Sea to be so powerful. Judging from the beast's power, it is comparable to a 2-star martial lord. Ling Yan's eyes also narrow slightly. A hint of shock appears in his eyes. But he quickly returns to normal. After all, although this beast is powerful, it is still far from his current overall strength. He doesn't need to worry about this beast causing him any harm. He retracts his gaze. Ling Yan also does not bother with that beast. His body moves, and he continues to rush deeper into the Thunder Sea. As for whether those people live or die, he does not need to care about it. Qian Qianxue told him before that if he wants to refine his soul to a higher level, then he must do it in a place where the power exceeds his own current power. His current power, at its peak, is probably around the 7-star martial lord level. So to refine his life-death coffin, he needs to go to a place where the power of the thunder is enough to match the power of a 7-star martial lord. Such a place is clearly in the deeper parts. The thunder in the outer areas is not that powerful. After Ling Yan continues to move forward for some time, his speed slows down. He looks at a place up ahead. There are many people gathered there. They seem to be watching something. Ling Yan takes a deep breath and also heads toward that place. However, he does not head directly toward the front. Instead, he stops in the back. He looks forward. He sees that a few hundred meters away, there is a large, jade-like tree. On the tree, there are many clear, crystal-like fruits. Even from that distance, he can smell the alluring aroma emanating from the fruits. Ling Yan looks at the fruits. The words spirit-cleansing fruit appear in his mind. The spirit-cleansing fruit is a type of fruit that can cleanse the body. It is considered a low-grade medicinal herb. After a cultivator consumes it, it can strengthen their body. Because Ling Yan is cultivating the Azure Dragon creation art, which is mainly focused on strengthening his body, and because he still needs to refine his dragon spirit, this fruit will be of great use to him. Hearing what Qian Qianxue says, Ling Yan nods secretly. Even if this spirit-cleansing fruit does not help him with his cultivation, he does not plan on wasting it. After all, it is still a low-grade medicinal herb. If he doesn't need it right now, then he can keep it for later. He can find an opportunity to sell it later. Before he can obtain the spirit-cleansing fruit, he might have to take care of some trouble first. And this trouble is the 5 thunder spirit beasts that are on that large tree. Each of the beasts has an aura that is comparable to a martial lord. This is why so many people are gathered here watching. But no one has made a move to try and obtain the spirit-cleansing fruit. While everyone is watching, a slightly surprised voice is heard from behind. I didn't expect that there would be spirit-cleansing fruit here. Everyone turns their head to look. A group of people quickly rushes over. The person in the lead is Meng Jie of the Jinwu Sword Pavilion. Beside Meng Jie is a middle-aged man who is quite a bit older. He is quite unremarkable. It would be impossible for someone to pick him out of a crowd. Meng Jie looks at the 5 thunder spirit beasts on the tree. Then he looks at the middle-aged man. Elder Chang, with the 2 of us joining forces, we should be able to take down those 5 thunder spirit beasts. The middle-aged man nods with a smile. Seeing Meng Jie and Chang Sun talking, the faces of everyone around them change. From Meng Jie and Chang Sun's words, it is not difficult to see that they are planning to take all the spirit-cleansing fruit on that tree for themselves. Hearing this, a cold smile appears on Meng Jie's face. His gaze sweeps over the crowd. His aura is extremely domineering. We are from the Jinwu Sword Pavilion. You people, if you do not want to die, then you better quietly watch from the sidelines. Otherwise, don't blame us for being ruthless. Then, Meng Jie looks at Chang Sun. Elder Chang, let's begin. Ling Yan watches the 2 people. Good. Since I was going to deal with all of you anyway, I might as well let you guys have a round with the thunder spirit beasts first. At that moment, the 5 thunder spirit beasts on the tree see Meng Jie and Chang Sun charging toward them. They roar angrily. Their large bodies leap down from the tree. The massive bodies of the thunder spirit beasts leap down from the tree. If Meng Jie and Chang Sun want to go and obtain the spirit cleansing fruit, then they have to step over their bodies first. While Meng Jie is fighting intensely with 2 of the thunder spirit beasts on the ground, Chang Sun heads straight for the 3 thunder spirit beasts on the tree. Ling Yan stands in the crowd. His eyes are focused on the battle in front of him. Although the thunder spirit beasts are powerful, the 2 people from the Jinwu Sword Pavilion are also very strong. It will only be a matter of time before they defeat those thunder spirit beasts. I have to find an opportunity to attack them while they're busy. As Meng Jie and Chang Sun constantly collide with the 5 thunder spirit beasts, one deep sound after another is heard. As the collisions occur, those with sharp eyes can see that the 5 thunder spirit beasts are gradually losing. Especially on Chang Sun's side, the 3 thunder spirit beasts are losing even faster. Chang Sun's body flashes, and he quickly appears in front of one of the thunder spirit beasts. He clenches his fist, and it slams into the thunder spirit beast's head. There is a thud, and the thunder spirit beast's massive body is sent flying backwards. However, at that instant, a powerful soul power appears behind him and attacks his back with lightning speed. Not good. After all, Chang Sun has the cultivation level of a 7-star martial grandmaster. He senses the soul power that suddenly appears behind him the moment it appears, but the speed of the soul power is too fast. He cannot react in time. He can only allow the soul power to hit him before he crashes heavily to the ground. Meng Jie, seeing this, quickly rushes to Chang Sun. Elder Chang, are you alright? At this time, Chang Sun has already stabilized his body. Then, he immediately turns around. His eyes are cold as he sweeps his gaze over the crowd. His face is as dark as iron. He did not expect that someone would dare to attack him from behind. He has truly eaten a bear's heart and leopard's guts. Chang Sun's gaze quickly locks onto Ling Yan. The anger in his eyes is about to burst forth. Who are you? Ling Yan smiles faintly. I am just someone who saw an injustice and couldn't help but interfere. Chang Sun's face turns even more ugly. What injustice is there, Ling Yan? So many people risk their lives to enter the Thunder Sea in search of heavenly treasures. Why should you be the only ones to take everything? Ling Yan's words successfully stir up the crowd's emotions. They do not want to give up on the spirit-cleansing fruit. Meng Jie and Chang Sun's faces both turn extremely dark. They didn't expect that Ling Yan would be able to stir up the crowd with just a few words. The two of them unleashed their violent auras at the same time. They charge toward Ling Yan. While charging, Meng Jie gives an order. Jinwu Sword Pavilion disciples, listen up. Kill everyone here. Since these people already have thoughts of taking their spirit-cleansing fruit, then they, the Jinwu Sword Pavilion, will naturally take action first. The sounds of killing spread throughout the area. The auras of the Jinwu Sword Pavilion members explode at the same time. In an instant, they are fighting with the crowd. Seeing this, Ling Yan's heart rejoices. With these people joining the fight, the pressure on him will be less. Moreover, his goal is not to kill all the members of the Jinwu Sword Pavilion who are here. He just needs to find an opportunity to obtain the spirit-cleansing fruit. Once he gets the spirit-cleansing fruit, he will immediately leave. Seeing Meng Jie and Chang Sun charging at him, Ling Yan's aura explodes. Then, he stomps on the ground, and his body slides backward. Meng Jie looks at Ling Yan with a cold expression. A mere two-star martial lord dares to run. You're truly courting death. At this time, Ling Yan smiles coldly. Everyone who thought I was nothing has already gone to hell. As soon as he says this, the life-death coffin appears. Seeing the coffin that appeared above Ling Yan's head, Meng Jie and Chang Sun are shocked. They did not expect that Ling Yan's soul form would be a coffin. Zhang Rui laughs loudly. This is the first time that I've seen a coffin soul form. You actually want to fight us using that trash. Since you want to compete in soul power, then I'll let you know what a powerful soul is. As soon as she finishes speaking, Meng Jie's body shakes, and a sword appears above her head. This sword is more than 3 meters long and is emitting an extremely cold aura. Meng Jie's hand points at Ling Yan. Her soul sword flies toward Ling Yan with great speed. The sound of the air being torn apart is heard. It seems like the sword is about to break through space. Facing Meng Jie's soul sword, Ling Yan's expression does not change. The corners of his mouth curve into a faint smile. His mind moves. A dark light erupts from the life-death coffin. The dark light quickly gathers, and it turns into a light pillar. Ling Yan points forward, and the light pillar shoots out. When Meng Jie's soul sword and the dark light from the life-death coffin make contact, a sharp cracking sound is heard. Then, Meng Jie's expression changes instantly. She discovers that her soul sword has stopped moving forward after being touched by the dark light. Moreover, it seems to be losing its connection to her. It is as if the sword no longer belongs to her. Ling Yan ignores Meng Jie's shock. He uses the dark light to control Meng Jie's soul sword. His feet quickly stomp on the ground. He rushes toward Meng Jie with lightning speed. Meng Jie, who was originally focused on controlling her soul sword, does not have any time to react. When she senses Ling Yan approaching and tries to retreat, it is already too late. Ling Yan appears in front of her. He looks at her with a faint smile. Then, a fist that is full of powerful force slams into her body. With that punch, Meng Jie's body flies backwards, like a kite with its string cut. She flies for hundreds of meters before finally falling to the ground. As she hits the ground, Meng Jie's blood churns. A mouthful of crimson blood quickly comes out. Her face turns pale. Chang Sun looks at Meng Jie's body on the ground. He pauses slightly. Then, he quickly reacts. He rushes to Meng Jie's side and picks her up from the ground. Ling Yan sighs in his heart. He did not kill her with one attack. In order to not expose his identity, he can only attack with the cultivation of a 2-star martial lord. As Chang Sun picks up Meng Jie, who cannot even wipe away the blood from her mouth, he speaks with a painful expression. Elder Chang, this person's soul is strange. Chang Sun nods slightly. He saw it just now. He watches everything with his eyes. His gaze is fixed on Ling Yan. His eyes are filled with a cold, sinister light. You rest. I'll deal with him. Chang Sun lets go of Meng Jie and takes a step forward. His body moves. The aura of a 7-star martial lord explodes. To quickly end the battle, he summons his soul form. Sword Zhan Chang Qian. Chang Sun's gaze is stern. He shouts loudly and uses his sword soul form to unleash a low-grade earth-level martial art. As soon as he finishes speaking, a sword that is even larger than a normal sword appears. It circles around his sword soul form, emitting a sharp aura. Chang Sun's hand reaches toward Ling Yan. The swords shoot toward Ling Yan with extreme speed. The swords tear through the air, creating ear-piercing sounds. Seeing the swords flying toward him, Ling Yan's eyes slowly show a serious expression. This sword is indeed worthy of a master of a 7-star martial lord. The low-grade earth-level martial art that he unleashed with his soul form is indeed very powerful. He can only try to use the life-death coffin to block it. If it doesn't work, then he will have to use the heart reversal technique. Ling Yan's mind quickly calculates. To avoid exposing his identity, he has to limit his techniques. But if he can't block Chang Sun's attack with just the life-death coffin, then he will have to use the heart reversal technique to increase his power. As expected, even though Ling Yan uses the life-death coffin, such a high-grade soul form, he is unable to completely eliminate the power difference of 5 levels. Although the energy of the swords has been significantly reduced, they still continue to attack Ling Yan after breaking through the life-death coffin. Ling Yan quickly makes a decision. He has no choice but to use the heart reversal technique. Just as Ling Yan is about to use the heart reversal technique to deal with Chang Sun, Qian Qianxue's voice rings out in his heart, "Don't rush. Pretend to run toward the spirit fruit. But don't touch them. This will make him think that you're trying to take the spirit fruit. He will inevitably try to get them first. Then, lure him to a deserted area, and unleash all your power to deal with him." Hearing what Qian Qianxue says, a flash of understanding appears in Ling Yan's eyes. It is a great plan. Having decided this, Ling Yan doesn't delay any further. His mind moves. He once again uses the life-death coffin to release a dark light to block the sword attacks. At the same time, he steps on the ground and quickly rushes toward the spirit fruit. When Chang Sun sees that Ling Yan is running toward the spirit fruit, his expression turns even darker. He didn't expect that Ling Yan would still be thinking of taking the spirit fruit, but he won't let Ling Yan have his way. Chang Sun quickly waves his hand. A spirit chi quickly condenses in front of him and forms a whirlwind. He waves his hand, and the whirlwind flies out. The spirit fruit is swept together. During this short amount of time, Ling Yan's direction has shifted. As Ling Yan is escaping, he senses Chang Sun chasing after him not far away. A faint smile appears in his eyes. Then, that faint smile quickly turns into a strong killing intent. Ling Yan looks forward. He has his target. His pace suddenly quickens, and he rushes toward that location. Once he reaches his destination, he stops. He stops and then turns his body. He slightly lifts his head, revealing his face that was hidden under his hat. Chang Sun, who is chasing behind him, recognizes that face. Shock appears in his eyes. "It's you." Chang Sun didn't expect that the person who had been fighting them all along would actually be Ling Yan. He didn't expect Ling Yan to be able to hide so well until now. Ling Yan looks at Chang Sun. A faint smile appears on his face. "So what if it's me?" Since his identity has been exposed, he no longer cares about hiding his methods. In his opinion, Chang Sun is already a dead man. Saying a little more doesn't matter. Chang Sun's expression becomes grave. "Don't think that just because you injured Meng Jie that you are invincible. I haven't unleashed my true power yet." Ling Yan sneers. His spirit chi starts to circulate using the heart reversal technique. When the spirit chi finishes circulating, a strong aura erupts from Ling Yan's body. Clearly, after using the heart reversal technique, his cultivation has reached the level of a 4-star martial grandmaster. Feeling the aura that is erupting from Ling Yan, Chang Sun's eyebrows furrow slightly. But he quickly sneers, "Even if you are using an external force to increase your strength, do you think that you can maintain it for long? Moreover, with just a 4-star martial lord's cultivation, you dare to dream of killing me." A killing intent flashes in Ling Yan's eyes. He shouts loudly, "Great windstorm!" A powerful spirit chi erupts from his body. In front of him, a massive whirlwind quickly condenses. This great windstorm is a mid-grade earth-level martial art from the Gu Yuan sect. Seeing the massive whirlwind coming at him, Chang Sun's eyes flash with surprise. He didn't expect that Ling Yan would have already cultivated the Gu Yuan sect's great windstorm. Chang Sun's eyes gleam. He doesn't hesitate to summon his sword soul form. Once again, he uses his sword soul form to unleash a low-grade earth-level martial art like sword Zhan Chang Xiong. Countless swords quickly appear. The fierce aura tears through the air. The swords collide with the whirlwind, creating a piercing explosion. The swords pierce through the whirlwind, destroying it. Seeing that the whirlwind has been destroyed, Ling Yan's soul power explodes. White bird clear light and blood sea are unleashed again. When the clear light bird and blood wave collide with the swords, a large crack quickly spreads out. Soon, it spreads to over 100 meters away. But after this collision, the swords are finally blocked. Looking at the destroyed surroundings, Ling Yan's mind moves slightly. A 7-star martial lord is indeed not easy to deal with. Chang Sun stares at Ling Yan, his eyes filled with contempt. Kid, I only casually used a low-grade earth-level martial art, and you already need to use so many methods just to block it. Now you still dare to dream of killing me. The corner of Ling Yan's mouth curves into a dark smile. I will take your life for sure. As soon as his words fall, he grips the heavenly tiger spear. Ling Yan shouts. Azura spear technique. He swings the heavenly tiger spear. Seeing Ling Yan rush forward, Chang Sun smiles scornfully. Kid, this battle is about to end. Chang Sun's body flashes. He condenses a hand sign in front of him. Then he uses the hand sign to release a powerful force, which goes toward the sword soul form above his head. The sword soul form suddenly explodes with a blinding light. Then, that light quickly becomes a massive sword light that is large enough to cover the sky. Chang Sun looks at the massive sword light and then grabs onto the edge of the sword light and slashes it down at Ling Yan. Ling Yan looks up at the massive sword light. His eyes gleam slightly. He immediately aims the heavenly tiger spear up and launches a spear attack upward that collides with the massive sword light. The collision of the spear light and the sword light is like two massive mountains colliding. A terrifying sound is transmitted out. The ground within 100 meters is cracked. The trees are broken. The spear lights that Ling Yan unleashes are shattered under the pressure of the sword light. He steps on the ground and is sent flying backward. At this rate, it looks like he will have to use the void black flame. Thinking this, Ling Yan no longer hesitates. His mind moves. The void black flame erupts from his body and appears on his hands. Seeing the black flames appear on Ling Yan's hands and feeling the terrifying heat in aura, Chang Sun's face shows a hint of shock. Facing the void black flames attack, Chang Sun doesn't dare to act recklessly. While controlling the sword light to deal with the dark light, he gathers his spirit chi in front of him and forms a defensive barrier, hoping to block the void black flames attack. Seeing the changes in the void black flame, Chang Sun's expression immediately becomes ugly. He did not expect that the void black flame would be so difficult to deal with. It seems that it will be impossible to kill Ling Yan today. The thoughts in Chang Sun's head change. He must leave now. Once that kid increases his cultivation and returns to his original 2-star martial lord level, even if he has earth fire, he will not be my match. He knows that with his current ability, he will not be able to defeat Ling Yan, who is at the level of a 4-star martial lord and is controlling the void black flame. Just as the void black flame is about to pass through the sword light and reach him, he releases his grip on the sword light without thinking. He slams his feet on the ground. His body flies backward. He looks at Ling Yan with hate. Kid, you have many methods, but your time to increase your strength is almost up. I will see how you will fight me then. Facing Chang Sun's words, Ling Yan's mouth curves into a cruel smile. Then his eyes turn cold and a killing intent explodes. That time is almost here, but before that, you will turn into a corpse. So you won't get the chance. Ling Yan's mind moves. The dark light on the life-death coffin explodes again and envelopes Chang Sun, who is flying backward. It is as if a massive bowl is being placed over him. Chang Sun's expression suddenly changes. He didn't expect the dark light to be so fast. It is so fast that he cannot dodge it. When the dark light envelopes his body, a piercing sound rings out. Chang Sun's body stops moving as if something is pinning him down. He can no longer get away from the dark light and he can also feel the heat from the void black flame heading towards him. Chang Sun does not have time to think. He unleashes all of the remaining spirit chi in his body. He forms a defensive barrier in front of him. But this time, the barrier is useless. The void black flame completely destroys it with its fierce power. Without the barrier, Chang Sun's body is completely exposed to the void black flame. In an instant, his body is engulfed in black flames. Painful screams continuously come from the flames. Under the void black flame's power, Chang Sun's aura rapidly weakens. Then, it completely vanishes. With a wave of his hand, Ling Yan retracts the void black flame. Then, he appears beside Chang Sun's body. He takes Chang Sun's interspatial ring and soul with him. Chang Sun is a 7-star martial lord. The soul at this level will be extremely useful to Ling Yan. Ling Yan looks around. With the loud sounds that were produced here just now, it is possible that people or beasts have been attracted to this place. Since the time limit for his heart reversal technique is almost up, and his body is injured, he doesn't have much power left. So, before then, he has to find a safe place to cultivate and recover. After deciding on a direction, Ling Yan quickly leaves. He moves at lightning speed. In the blink of an eye, he disappears. About 10 minutes after Ling Yan disappears, a group of people arrive at the scene. Judging by their clothing, it is not difficult to tell that they are from the Ziyu Palace. The leader is a young prodigy from the Ziyu Palace named Lu Wan. When they see the charred body on the ground and feel the lingering aura, their expressions become extremely grave. Although most of the body is burned, the outline is still distinguishable. It is Chang Sun. Looking at Chang Sun's state, it is obvious that he was burned to death by flames. They immediately conclude that the person who killed Chang Sun is definitely an alchemist. This would rule out the three elders from the Gu Yuan sect, since none of them are alchemists and do not possess spirit fire. But then who killed Chang Sun? Lu Wan says after a moment of thought, it's fine. With Chang Sun dead, we have one less obstacle. Our chances of obtaining the treasure are higher. After saying that, Lu Wan doesn't delay any further. He waves his hand and leads the people from the Ziyu Palace further into the Thunder Sea. In a forest filled with giant trees, many beasts are constantly moving about, letting out deafening roars from time to time. In the top of one of these large trees, a figure is sitting cross-legged. This figure is Ling Yan, who left after killing Chang Sun. After the previous cultivation, the injuries that were left by the heart reversal technique have completely recovered. Ling Yan opens his eyes. A smile appears in his eyes. He sighs, a 7-star martial lord's soul is truly powerful. At this time, Qian Qianxue speaks in Ling Yan's heart, it's a good thing you have the life-death coffin. Otherwise, you would not have been able to make your 3-year agreement. Ling Yan smiles faintly. That's right. They are probably improving as well. Moreover, their starting point is higher than mine, and they also have better resources. Speaking of resources, Ling Yan's mind moves. He takes out an interspatial ring. This is the interspatial ring that he got from Chang Sun. He scans it. Ling Yan discovers that Chang Sun is quite wealthy. Just in spirit gems alone, there are over 1 million. He has also collected the spirit fruit. Ling Yan looks at the spirit fruit. I will only start using them when I reach the 9-star martial lord realm. Qian Qianxue nods. It's best to use them then. That will allow you to cultivate the dragon bone faster. This way, your cultivation will naturally rise quicker from the 9-star martial lord realm to the martial lord realm. At this time, the beasts below also sense Ling Yan. It's time to continue traveling deeper into the Thunder Sea. Ling Yan stands up from the tree trunk. He looks into the depths of the Thunder Sea. Then, he jumps down from the tree trunk. He lands steadily on the ground. He casually kills a beast. Then, he quickly heads toward the depths. After rushing forward for thousands of meters, Ling Yan's speed gradually slows. His gaze narrows slightly. What is that? Qian Qianxue laughs, this is a new experience for you. With that, she says to Ling Yan, take a deep breath. Ling Yan concentrates. He increases his speed and continues to rush forward. 10 minutes later, Ling Yan stops. He looks at what is in front of him. Surprise appears in his eyes. In front of him, there is an extremely wide chasm, at least 1,000 meters wide. Standing within the chasm are many people that have a faint ghostly aura about them. They seem to be affected by the wind. Their true forms are impossible to distinguish. These beings are called spirit corpses. It is said that the spirit corpses do not possess any martial arts. They only rely on their physical strength. But their bodies have been specially tempered. Their physical toughness is probably not inferior to those who specialize in body tempering techniques. Moreover, spirit corpses also have different levels. Generally, they are divided into levels, which correspond to the cultivation levels of cultivators. Their level is clearly shown on their foreheads. However, the number of spirit corpses in front of him is very large. To get through, he must defeat them or break their control. While Ling Yan and Qian Qianxue are conversing, the people around them start discussing. They all know that these spirit corpses are not easy to deal with. But they don't want to give up. If they take another way, then they will not be reconciled. At this time, a voice, wrapped in spirit chi, is transmitted throughout the area. Everyone, the number of spirit corpses here is extremely high. We all want to pass through here. Why don't we work together to get through here? As soon as the voice finishes speaking, the surroundings become quiet. But this silence doesn't last for long. Soon, the people from the Guangdao sect speak first. Miss Lu is right. The strength of these spirit corpses is not weak. It is best that we work together. After the Guangdao sect shows their position, the people from the western region also express their agreement. Hearing everyone agree, Lu Wan smiles. He does not really put his hopes on these people. Having them attack together is just to distract some of the spirit corpses. Ling Yan smiles faintly. It looks like I will have to wade into this mess as well. Lu Wan waves her hand again. She leads the Ziyu Palace disciples and jumps into the chasm. As soon as they enter the chasm, the spirit corpses inside become crazy. They let out low roars and start to charge at them. Ling Yan looks on with interest. He grips his fist. The aura of a 2-star martial lord explodes from his body. He steps on the ground and leaps into the chasm. As soon as Ling Yan enters the chasm, a spirit corpse's empty eyes fix on him. Ling Yan's eyes gleam. He looks at the spirit corpse's forehead. There are 2 red lines, indicating that this spirit corpse's strength is equal to that of a 2-star martial lord. When the spirit corpse attacks, Ling Yan's eyes flash with a killing intent. He clenches his fist and throws a punch. His fist collides with the spirit corpse's fist. Ling Yan doesn't use any external force. He is only using his own physical strength. Not only is he fine, he also shatters the bones in the spirit corpses. Arm. However, spirit corpses are already dead. They do not feel any pain. Even if the bones in their arms are shattered, they will not feel anything. Therefore, the spirit corpse lets out another low growl. It continues to punch at Ling Yan with its other fist. Ling Yan's eyes narrow. He punches the spirit corpse in the head again. Ling Yan's casual way of dealing with the spirit corpses is noticed by some of the people around them. They immediately start talking amongst themselves. Ling Yan smiles faintly and ignores the other people's words. He continues to move forward, dealing with the next spirit corpse that blocks his way. Ling Yan's performance also catches Lu Wan's attention. He looks at Ling Yan's back, trying hard to remember. But he can't seem to remember anyone with the same figure. Lu Wan's companion asks, "Do you want to go over and reveal their identity?" Lu Wan shakes his head. "Our current goal is to pass through here. We shouldn't cause any trouble. This person is powerful. Even if he isn't from the Chaos Land, he is probably a prodigy from some other powerful force." At this time, Ling Yan looks toward the front. He thinks to himself, the spirit corpses in front are even harder to deal with. At this time, Qian Qianxue's voice rings out in Ling Yan's heart. 300 meters ahead and to your left, there is a spirit corpse that has not been controlled by a soul. If you place your soul imprint on it, you will be able to control it. Hearing this, Ling Yan's eyes flash. He looks toward the area 300 meters ahead and to his left. There, a spirit corpse is standing quietly. The 6 red lines on its forehead cause Ling Yan's expression to become heavy. It is a spirit corpse with a power comparable to a 6-star martial lord. Ling Yan sighs. He didn't expect that an uncontrolled spirit corpse would have such a powerful force. Ling Yan doubts whether he will be able to control it, but with Qian Qianxue by his side, he still wants to try. After making a decision, he no longer hesitates. He instantly flashes toward the spirit corpse on the left. Ling Yan's sudden actions cause many people to look at him in surprise. What does he want to do? Is he planning on attacking alone? Everyone's gaze is fixed on Ling Yan. Their eyes are filled with all sorts of emotions. The Guangdao sect also notices Ling Yan's actions. Their expressions become grave. Is this person trying to die again? Ling Yan ignores the gazes that he is receiving. He continues to charge toward the spirit corpse on the left. No matter what, he must take this spirit corpse that has a power comparable to a 6-star martial lord. As soon as Ling Yan appears, the spirit corpse, who has a power equal to a 6-star martial lord, lets out a low roar. Then, a fist, as large as a hill, slams toward him. The spirit corpse's dry fist is instantly covered with a powerful fist wind. The air is compressed, creating explosions. However, facing the spirit corpse's attack, Ling Yan's eyes widen. Without any hesitation, he unleashes his spirit chi. He punches upward. His fist collides with the spirit corpse's fist. A loud boom is transmitted out. Ling Yan's expression changes slightly. His body is sent flying back about 10 meters. After exchanging blows with the spirit corpse, Ling Yan clearly understands that if he doesn't use the heart reversal technique to increase his cultivation, then he will not be able to deal with this spirit corpse. At this time, Qian Qianxue's voice rings out in Ling Yan's heart. You can use the heart reversal technique now. Even if you do, it will only cause suspicion. It's impossible for them to confirm your identity. Moreover, even if they do, these people are already surrounded by spirit corpses. They won't have any chance to study you. Hearing this, Ling Yan smiles helplessly. He no longer hesitates. The spirit chi in his body immediately starts circulating, following the path of the heart reversal technique. As the spirit chi connects to all the meridians in his body, a powerful aura erupts from his body. Feeling the aura erupting from Ling Yan, everyone's eyes show a hint of shock. They didn't expect Ling Yan to possess the cultivation level of a 4-star martial lord. Lu Wan's eyes are fixed on Ling Yan's back. Her heart is shocked, but she quickly realizes that this isn't a true increase in his cultivation. Instead, it is a method that forcefully increases his cultivation. Lu Wan's eyes flash with understanding. He is Ling Yan. After Lu Wan's words, the people around her start talking amongst themselves. After Ling Yan uses the heart reversal technique, the spirit corpse with the strength of a 6-star martial lord roars again. Then, it punches at Ling Yan again. Just as the fist is about to hit Ling Yan's face, Ling Yan raises his hand and catches it. This time, with the intense collision, Ling Yan's body is only pushed back a short distance. He doesn't retreat as much as he did before. However, Ling Yan's goal is not to kill the spirit corpse, but to lure it away. Therefore, he doesn't need to fight with the spirit corpse to the death right now. He just needs to block this attack. Then, his body quickly dodges to the side. Seeing that Ling Yan is about to run away, the spirit corpse is unwilling to let him go. It lets out a low roar. It immediately chases after Ling Yan. It is probably because the spirit corpse's target has changed to Ling Yan that the rest of the spirit corpses have not come to attack him at this time. Looking at the backs of Ling Yan and the spirit corpse, a glint of understanding appears in Lu Wan's eyes. He is intentionally luring the spirit corpse away. She can tell that once Ling Yan has lured the spirit corpse away, he probably intends to find an opportunity to subdue it. After thinking this, Lu Wan looks at the people of the Ziyu Palace and says, "You guys continue to move forward. I'll go to the front to take a look. We'll meet up later." Seeing Lu Wan leave early, the person from the Guangdao sect furrows his eyebrows slightly. "Follow me. I will also go up ahead to take a look." In the blink of an eye, in a small canyon, two figures flash by quickly. Their speed is not slow at all. The figure in front has afterimages trailing behind him. It is Ling Yan and the spirit corpse from the chasm. In the sky above the canyon, lightning flashes constantly, like meteors streaking across the sky. It adds a layer of beauty to the sky. Ling Yan looks around the canyon. Then he nods in satisfaction. There is no one else here, and there are no other beasts. It is a good place for him to deal with this spirit corpse. Seeing the spirit corpse punch toward him, a smile appears on Ling Yan's face. Then, his body flashes. A powerful aura explodes. Ling Yan clenches his fist. As his fist moves, a whirlwind tears through the air. It collides with the spirit corpse's fist. An explosion is transmitted out. Both Ling Yan's body and the spirit corpse's body are sent flying back at the same time. Ling Yan's eyes narrow. He grips the air. The heavenly tiger spear appears in his hand. At this time, Qian Qianxue tells Ling Yan how to put a soul imprint on the spirit corpse. Ling Yan grips the heavenly tiger spear and rushes toward the spirit corpse. He unleashes a series of continuous attacks on the spirit corpse. Under this rapid attack, the spirit corpse is restrained to a certain area. It is unable to truly touch his body. Ling Yan thinks to himself, "I must first knock the spirit corpse to the ground. Then, I must use my own power to suppress the spirit corpse. Only then, will I have a chance to pour my soul power into the spirit corpse's body? Otherwise, the spirit corpse will never be defeated and will keep attacking him endlessly." Having decided on his plan, Ling Yan immediately swings the heavenly tiger spear. He slams it into the spirit corpse's side. Then, fear took hold, trapping him on the ground, struggling fiercely. Suddenly, he fought back, his body rebounding. Lin Yan's eyes flashed coldly, power surged into his elbow, driving down hard. The new god shifted, his vast soul force erupted, pouring into the puppet. After 3 minutes, the soul force subdued the puppet, leaving it lifeless on the ground. Abruptly, the puppet's soul force coalesced rapidly, forming a unique protrusion on its head. This was the soul imprint. Gazing at the prone puppet, Ling Yan wasn't sure if he could control it. The new god moved, hardening his connection with the soul. He fiercely focused, branding his will on the puppet. The puppet twitched, then stood up. Lin Yan watched the puppet, slightly tense. Suddenly, its face twisted. A roar. The puppet sped forward. It smashed into the mountain with a huge crash. Lin Yan, again shifting the new god, made the puppet rush back. It then began performing various silly antics, playing joyfully. Qian Qianxue, serious, asked, "Are you done playing?" Lin Yan, still amused, couldn't help but feel happy. Had forgotten the danger, sensing hostile auras approaching. He recalled the puppet into his Qian Qianxue belt. Turning, he saw two figures running into the valley. Lin Yan focused his gaze, recognizing Lu Wan and Li Xian. Lu Wan immediately pointed out Lin Yan. Lin Yan was surprised they'd followed him. Lin Yan's eyes narrowed, locking onto them. Did you come to attack, or report my location? Lu Wan and Li Xian trembled, sensing the chilling threat. Any answer displeasing Lin Yan would lead to an immediate attack. Lu Wan said hastily, Lin Yan, we just wanted to confirm it was you, nothing else. We're not aligned with Gu Yuan. Li Xian added, our sect has no dealings with Gu Yuan. Why would we help them? Lin Yan relaxed. Then I thank you both. I must leave now. Before he could move, Lu Wan asked Lin Yan, did you subdue that puppet? Lin Yan calmly nodded, using the new god. The puppet materialized beside him. They noticed 6 spatial patterns on its head. Lu Wan and Li Xian exchanged glances, shocked. They felt lucky not to have antagonized him. Lin Yan glanced at them farewell. He turned, his figure disappearing swiftly. Under the lightning-filled sky, bolts of lightning danced like silver snakes. Some struck the ground, creating deep craters, while a young man sped through this area. He didn't dodge, letting the lightning strike him, slowing him briefly, but then he resumed his speed. It seemed harmless, the power of the life-death seal absorbing the strikes. Without the seal, such lightning strikes, powerful enough for a 6-star Grand Marshal, would have been torturous. Lin Yan looked ahead, towards the 7-star Grand Marshal level lightning, his destination, to temper his spirit. With a focused look, he pushed off the ground, charging forward. He summoned the life-death seal, its hum resonating, absorbing the lightning around him. Using lightning to temper the seal will strengthen you too. This will help you break through. Lin Yan closed his eyes, continuing to refine the seal with the lightning. Time passed quickly, 10 days went by in a flash. Lin Yan hadn't moved, absorbing lightning to temper the life-death seal. With continuous tempering, his aura reached the peak of 2-star Grand Marshal. Then it broke through, successfully reaching the 3-star Grand Marshal realm. As Lin Yan celebrated, the life-death seal trembled violently, the ringing sound piercing. Lin Yan suppressed his joy, shocked, looking at the seal. Qian Qianxue appeared. Don't worry, it's evolving from the tempering. Lin Yan was slightly stunned. Qian Qianxue explained, I told you this isn't its final form. This is just its initial state. It will evolve further, until it reaches its final form. Lin Yan understood, as long as it didn't cause any harm. Suddenly, cracking sounds echoed from the seal, and then, with a bang, it shattered. Lin Yan's eyes widened, disbelief written all over his face. Qian Qianxue rolled her eyes. Why the rush? It won't disappear. The shattered fragments didn't vanish, instead, they emitted a thick, black mist. Lin Yan tried to sense it with his soul force but couldn't, being blocked by the black mist. Lin Yan watched intently, curious about the seal's evolution. Time passed. 2 hours later, the black mist began to dissipate rapidly. It vanished entirely, revealing a pitch-black coffin. This was Lin Yan's spirit soul life-death coffin.